Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm just gonna be yapping a little bit when it comes to this Anoxa account. Now, I apologize. I said that I'd be uploading more often recently, and I don't think I've uploaded in like the last 5 or 6 days now. The problem is, there isn't really much going on, and I lost the E2 for Blade on my like new quote unquote main account with like Phanon and the follow up team. So not really a video to be made when it comes to E2 Blade since, well, I couldn't get him. And this account is just kind of waiting for a Cyrene banner, which has about 10 days. Yeah, 10 days. Right. So until 10 days from now, I can't make a pulling video of me pulling for Cyrene. And the character who did get a bit of changes in V2 was Himiko. And Himiko is kind of the character I'm the least interested in, unfortunately. You guys will know, although I like covering character strength and meta value, my opinions on them here and there, if I just don't care about a character enough, I usually won't really bother trying to cover them, which unfortunately seems to be the case for Himiko. Her design to me isn't anything spectacular. Her animations, although quite over the top and main push worthy, they don't exactly catch my eye. And on top of this, I don't think she's going to get that many after sales. So there's not even much like theory crafting that you can really do for her team, since she very clearly wants other Astral Express members on her team. And Sunday's going to get a Nova, so he's likely not going anywhere. Right. It really just leaves you with the possibility of maybe one teammate addition down the line. But even if this is the case, it's like, who is that? I have absolutely nothing to guess, not a single crumb of anything to actually come to any conclusion. So unfortunately, Himiko is like the most boring character, in my opinion, to talk about when it comes to all these other ones, because you have Rin. One, she's incredibly hyped because she's a partner for Archer. Two, she's from Fate. That's another reason she's hyped. However, also, a ton of people own Archer across all of their accounts. Archer is being made free again, selectable between Gilgamesh and him on 4.4. So a lot of people are going to be looking at Rin and how good she is for Archer, since many people have gotten an Archer team for very low cost, if not free, and they're still using him against the endgame content. And then Gilga is the most exciting one, because not only does he massively buff Saber, who has been in a very, very poor state for the last year, however, he actually works decently well in an Ash Veil plus M-Blade comp, and especially with higher vertical of the follow-up team like E2 M-Blade, his ult starts doing disgusting amounts of damage. So even though Avin is likely going to be stronger as an option in comparison to Gilga for this team, it's still quite strong with Gilga, and Gilga is being given for free, unlike Avin. So a lot of people may be able to get a pseudo best in slot follow-up team if they don't want to pull Avin, or they can't pull Avin, by just putting Gilga with Ash Veil and Blade, right? So as you can see, that's why I'm kind of much more interested in these two others in comparison to Himiko. Himiko just doesn't really have anything exciting for me to really discuss about, in my opinion, and I'm not really just hyped about her, right? So yeah, this is currently the Anoxa account. If we go back over here, you can see I have 72 pulls. I haven't done this patches event yet. There's still the second half. There's still 9 days over here. I'm pretty sure there's a currency wars reset. I have an immense amount of pulls to access, and I have 50 pity on both the character banner and the Lycone banner. So there's absolutely zero chance that I can't get Cyrene. She is guaranteed no matter what, which is incredibly nice. Now, some of you may be asking, what is it that you may possibly go for after getting Cyrene on this account? Well, the thing is, my two main DPSs on this account for the last year have been Archer and Anoxa. So considering I've been keeping my Archer over here, as you can see, E1, S1, alongside Sparkle and Tribby is usually what I use him with. Now I can obviously get Rin, replace Tribby, put Rin in there, and then I can also get his E2 for free now. Now, here's the thing, the fake collab units Eidolons are terrible, right? This is like incredibly common among all of them. All their Eidolons are just terrible. This E2, even if you were to remove the turn restriction on it, is already mid. But with the turn restriction, it becomes even further mid. It has its uses for non-weak APOC content. You can now technically brute force any APOC content with this E2, which is nice. That's some nice convenience there. And of course, 20% res pen on one specific target. Depending on the enemy lineup, if it favors you and it purely favors single target, it can actually be quite nice. However, the reality is these days there's like a ton of fucking bosses that summon add-ons that you need to beat in order to like get rid of damage reduction or gain punchline so that you can do more damage against the boss, or this gets rid of the boss's damage reduction, like, you know, so on and so on and so on. Bosses have become much more gimmicky as the game has now become much older, and they're kind of running out of simple ideas to make for enemies. So this means the use for something as simple as Archer's E2, it isn't really there these days. However, at the end of the day, it's at least still an upgrade. It still has its uses, and I know I'm not going to pull the follow-up team or Saber on this account no matter what, so getting his E2 is better than getting Goga for me. Right. After that, I have considered the possibility of getting Himiko. Is it because I like her? Absolutely fucking not. I just told you, I really don't care about her that much at all. I haven't made a single video about her. I haven't made a single post about her. It's quite grim, right? However, the reason why I might go for Himiko is solely because I have a Sunday who is now going to be homeless the second that I pick up Cyrene for my Anoxa, because now my Anoxa has the Cyrene Ceridra comp, and Archer is soon going to have the Sparkle Rin comp. So there's just nowhere for Sunday to fit in either of these two teams. So it's either I pivot towards pulling Himiko, or what I do is not pull for a couple patches. Since I have an E00 Yao Guang on this account, the rumors that Nihilux may possibly be a main DPS may prove to actually be quite beneficial for that Yao Guang on my account currently, and I might be able to get some good use out of that, right? Because I believe I originally planned to possibly pull Evanesia on this account, and that's why I pulled Yao Guang. I could use Yao Guang as a temporary third slot for Archer, and then later on, I could end up getting Evanesia, putting Yao Guang on the Evanesia team, and then putting Tribby back with my Anoxa. However, after I pulled Yao Guang, I then did something I shouldn't have, which is build pity on Ceridra's banner, and then I just struck jackpot and got her E2 in like 50 pulls. So now that I have an E2 Ceridra, obviously I'm not going to use Tribby on my Anoxa, you know? So the only thing that I'm kind of left with is, well, nothing. There's no team for my E1 Tribby, and there's no team for my Nova Sunday currently. So I gotta just hopefully wait until either both of them get Nova flared, or they finally get a new best in slot team, or a team they're really good support option in, for me to start taking advantage of them again. So that's either Himiko in respect to the Sunday, and Yao Guang, that would be Nihilux, right? So that's a quick update on this Anoxa account. That's how things are going. That's the plans. And that's also why I've been very slow on the uploads lately. There just hasn't been enough juice for me, right? There hasn't been enough of anything to really feed me motivation to start pumping out videos as of recent, as unfortunate as that is. I feel like them moving Pearl and Nihilux, two pretty important Elation characters, so far back into the version, has made a lot of people feel that like the mid version is a bit stale. Because keep in mind, Evanesia and Silverwolf and Sparksy, these are like some of the most popular DPSs that have released throughout this entire version so far, and some of their best selling, but everybody is left in the gray of, oh, is this going to be a sustain? Is she going to be a support? Is she going to be a DPS? Nobody knows. And so a lot of what would be the most exciting discussion, there's nothing to talk about because the leakers wouldn't really dare leak something so far away currently, either out of fear of unreliability or fear that they might get attacked by Hoyo because they're leaking this stuff way earlier than they should be. So yeah, hope you have a great day. Hope you all have a great night. Peace out.